They say the first thing a person notices after dusk on the Chickamauga battlefield is the eyes. Two green pinpricks hanging 7 feet up, blinking, drifting. No body, no footsteps, just that pair of eyes. Once they are seen, sleep doesn't come easy. September 1863, northern Georgia. Legend says that Chickamauga Creek ran red for 3 days. Rosecrans and Bragg shoved more than 100,000 men into cedar thickets and corn. When the shooting stopped, over 34,000 were dead, wounded, or missing. Surgeons piled arms and legs like firewood. Burial crews worked into October. Plenty of boys were never identified, some never even found. The soil kept the memories, blood, cartridge boxes, scraps of uniform, and, if you believe the tales, one head that disappeared when a shell burst. Folklorists call Chickamauga a perfect storm ghost factory. Sudden death, anonymous graves, and a landscape that hasn't changed much in a century and a half. Rangers still mow around the same shell holes. Night fog pools in the hollows like water finding its level. Walk across the old federal trenches and the temperature drops 5 degrees. They tell visitors not to pocket buttons or bullets, believing the relics leash the dead to the living. Not to mention, collecting artifacts from the battlefield is a federal crime. Believe it or not, the math alone is grim. 1 casualty for every 3 soldiers who set foot here. That kind of loss leaves a scar and maybe a door. Stories about old green eyes started before the smoke even cleared. Confederate pickets wrote home about a blue-green shimmer stalking Snodgrass Hill. One diary, sitting in the park archives today, says a kid fired at what he thought was a panther, watched the glowing orbs blink once, then nothing. After Appomattox, veterans came back for reunions and swore the lights were still there. By 1876, a Chattanooga paper printed the first civilian sighting. 2 teens sneaking onto the field at night saw a floating head with sparkling green eyes. Same height, same creepy calm. The editor laughed it off as moon-sick pranks, but the details line up too well to ignore. 2 origin stories compete. Version 1, a Confederate private decapitated by artillery, his head buried separate from the body, so the poor soul combs the grass looking for it. Version 2, older. The Cherokee say a spirit beast guarded the valley, eyes like green fire. When soldiers trampled the land, the being soaked up the fresh horror and swapped its deer shape for a ragged gray coat. Either way, the description never changes. 2 glowing eyes, 5 to 7 feet off the ground, sometimes bobbing like the owners limping across uneven ground. No footsteps, no sound, just the eyes, steady, unblinking, locked on yours. Green eyes isn't the only tenant. By Wilder Tower, you'll hear phantom hoofbeats that stop dead at midnight. A reenactor once said his horse spun so hard it snapped the bridle rather than cross a certain field. Others swear they've seen a riderless black stallion, ribs showing through translucent skin, galloping beside cars before it melts into the trees. Sometimes the horse carries a headless trooper shouting the name Amy. Then there's the lady in white. She drifts past Snodgrass cabin in a wedding dress, veil over her face. Campers say she asks, "Have you seen my beloved?" before she folds into mist. Rangers keep a logbook. First entry 1898, latest 2 months ago. Psychics claim she's hunting a Union surgeon who promised marriage but died before the vows. Taken alone, each tale is unsettling. Together they knit a quilt of unfinished business. Researchers call Chickamauga a layered haunt. Native guardians, Civil War dead, private grief, all sharing the same stage. The battlefield mirrors whatever sorrow you bring, turns it up, and sometimes makes it glow in the dark. An investigator walked the field one October right after the visitor center locked up. The sun bled out behind snodgrass. Fireflies and distant headlights were the only light. The first stop was Brotherton Cabin. In '63 it was a field hospital, now just an empty log box. A recorder was set on the porch rail. 20 seconds in, a whisper was captured. Cold. The thermometer dropped to 48, though the night had been sticky. Next, the 18th Ohio Battery. The moon silvered the cannons. With no wind, the flag lanyards still clinked against the pole. That's when they were seen. Not headlights, not fireflies. 2 steady green emeralds by a split-rail fence. The investigator called out, "Private, is that you?" The lights bobbed once, almost polite, then slid behind a cedar and vanished. An EMF meter spiked to 3.2 milligauss before dying. Faulty wiring in a national park? Not likely. Fox with eye shine? Maybe, but foxes don't stand 5 feet tall. This isn't claimed as proof. It's an account of something that answered. The feeling followed the investigator to the lot, like someone half a step behind. The car doors were locked, keys in pocket, yet the dome light was on. All that was brought home was a dead battery and a notebook full of questions. Seen old Green Eyes? Got a theory? Drop your story in the comments below. While you're typing, think about hitting subscribe. We'll be tackling new investigations soon. Rangers keep a sightings folder thick as a phone book. One 1987 affidavit, a Boy Scout troop near the South Carolina Monument. At 2:13 a.m., every tent zipper peeled open at once. A green glow drifted down the company street. The scoutmaster, a Vietnam vet, told the kids to hum "America the Beautiful." The glow paused, backed off, zipped every tent shut. No footprints in the dew. In 2014, a paranormal team left a GoPro on Horseshoe Ridge. The battery should have lasted 10 hours. It shut off after 41 minutes. The final frame showed a greenish blur inches from the lens. The audio captured a male voice.
"Get out."
Then a wet gurgle. A spectrogram shows the voice at 42 hertz, way below human range. Skeptics blame traffic or temperature inversions. Nobody's duplicated it under controls. Even the maintenance guys shrug. A plumber replacing water lines near Poe Field said his level kept spinning, hinting at moving metal underground, yet the stakes never budged. He packed up at noon and turned down overtime. Whether you trust science or not, the pattern across decades and jobs is tough to ignore. Something on that field performs for an audience, and it likes the spotlight. Why do blood-soaked grounds breed ghost stories? Psychologists call it place memory. Intense emotion soaks into limestone and waterlogged soil, both plentiful here. Wind rolling across hills creates infrasound that can make your eyeballs hallucinate shapes. Grief also triggers pareidolia, finding faces or eyes in random patterns. Fair enough, but collective trauma needs a story. When 34,000 families lose someone in 3 days, the living need a bucket for that sorrow. A headless phantom hunting for his skull. That's the mind externalizing the impossible job of piecing life back together. Author Colin Dickey writes, "Ghost stories are how we metabolize history we can't otherwise digest. Stir in the Cherokee layer, land already sacred before the first mini-ball whistled, and you get a palimpsest where every era's dead talk over each other. Whether the eyes belong to a Confederate private, a shape-shifting guardian, or fog plus moonlight, the legend survives because it does emotional work. It keeps suffering visible, sometimes literally glowing, long after the guns go quiet. Gettysburg has the Lady of Devil's Den. Antietam has the Bloody Lane drummer boy. Chickamauga answers with Old Green Eyes. But George's Park flies under the tourist radar, so sightings feel personal. Gettysburg hosts 2 million visitors a year. Chickamauga sees maybe 800,000, giving the shadows elbow room. Topography helps. Rolling hills funnel fog into corridors that mimic movement. Light pollution is almost nil. Rangers joke the park's visitor-to-ghost ratio is unbeatable. While Gettysburg feels like a museum, Chickamauga feels like history forgot to end. Cell service drops. Coyotes answer distant trains. Stand still at dusk, and you might be alone with whatever walks there. That isolation feeds the legend, turning casual tourists into lifelong believers after one twilight encounter. So, is Old Green Eyes a headless Confederate, an ancient Cherokee guardian, or just Tennessee Valley fog messing with your brain? The battlefield keeps it secret, offering only 2 steady green lanterns as clues. Maybe ghost stories exist to remind us history isn't over. It's just waiting for nightfall. Next time you're near Georgia, swing by Chickamauga at sunset. Park gates close at dusk, but the roadside pull-offs are public. Bring a recorder, bring nerve, and tell us what you find. Post your theories, share this with the friend who swears they don't believe, and check the Civil War Battlefields playlist for more stories that refuse to stay in the past. Until then, keep your eyes open, and if 2 green ones glow back, maybe pick a different trail.